Good morning. Today is Wednesday, September 7th, and I'm very pleased to have the opportunity to talk to you because obviously things have happened since late Friday afternoon with the state Supreme Court ruling that has caused a lot of concern, confusion, and so forth. And so I want to try to clear things up as best I can. As I said, the state Supreme Court came out with a ruling late Friday afternoon that the governor's executive orders since last April, quite frankly, were unconstitutional. And so therefore that threw obviously a lot of confusion out there among educators and parents and state government and so forth. And so as we continue to try to study or get some facts about this and what comes next, I had read that the governor's office had made a statement that this will take effect as far as wiping out the executive orders that she had issued for 21 days. In other words, they'd keep the current status quo until after 21 days to try to allow the state government, state legislature, and the governor to work things out. Well, that necessarily was not correct. Apparently there isn't any 21 days, but I had been hearing rumors on Sunday that there was a potential that there would be a lot of people showing up to school, particularly students, not wearing masks. Well, that would obviously be contrary to what we believe is important to keep all people safe. So I did send out a letter to all parents and staff on Sunday afternoon commenting about those 21 days that the governor's office has said that is in place. Well, I was wrong, and I apologize for any confusion I might have created there. But in fact, I was wrong. But I also was right in the fact that the Rockford Board of Education has adopted a return to learn plan last August that is also required not only by the governor but by the state legislature. And in fact, it has all those safety protocols in the return to learn plan. So that particular document does reinforce the school district's position to keep the safety protocols in place, including wearing masks. But then again, as the scenario continued to unravel, on Monday, the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services came out with a statement that their executive director, Dr. Gordon, and this Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, by the way, is the state organization for health. And so therefore, they have cited that department laws that are in place that give the executive director of this department, the health department for the state of Michigan, executive powers to require staff, students, and anyone in school buildings or outside school buildings on school property to wear a mask. That's one of the things that it requires, plus a whole slate of other issues as well. And we believe that the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services does have that power. Our attorneys have told us they have that power. But I think just as important, the school board and school boards all over the state of Michigan who were required last August to pass these return to learn plans, have the authority to continue current safety protocols as defined in our return to learn plan. I think it's important to note that this scenario is going to continue to be contentious for a while regarding the governor's executive orders and the powers of the state legislature. And it's certainly my hope that the governor, the state legislature, and the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, along with all the county health departments, would get together and come up with a plan and eventually legislation that in fact would continue to promote safety in our schools, among our students, staff, and of course, community people, including parents who come into our schools. I mean, that's really, quite frankly, the number one priority because of this for real pandemic that is attacking our world, let alone the state of Michigan and Rockford as well. I want to talk about another issue, and that is we're changing our approach to cleaning desks in our secondary buildings. That would be our middle schools, our freshman center, and our high school. Up until now, we've asked our teachers between classes to clean all the student desks with a sanitizer. And that's just become almost an impossible responsibility for our teachers to do, and it does detract from their planning and preparation for their classes. And so we have purchased these large tubs that will have hand sanitizers in those tubs with cloths that people can pull out like you normally do with a tub of hand sanitizers and clean desks. So what I'm going to be asking our students to do is at the end of each class period, they will go to these tubs that have the liquid hand sanitizers in them and pull out a sheet of cloth and clean their desk and seat of their desk before they leave the classroom to go to their next class. This, of course, then would provide an opportunity for teachers to be able to prep for their incoming class that will be coming into their classrooms. It gives the student a chance to make sure that the desk that they've been sitting in is clean before they leave. And I want you to know that the liquid that's in these tubs that will be used to clean the desk of each class is the same hand sanitizer that we use to wash our hands every day. So it's safe to use, it's safe for our students to use. There's no need for wearing some type of protective gear and things like that. But we'll start that at the end of this week, and we'll be asking students at the end of each hour to take these cloths that have hand sanitizer liquid on them and clean their desk before they leave for the next class. I also want to talk briefly about getting test results back. As you know, we've had people who have been identified positive with COVID-19. The issue comes down to those close contact people, and I understand it. I understand why there are people that just don't understand. I'm wearing masks, my kid's wearing masks, they're trying to social distance, but they're identified as close contact with the person who was identified with COVID-19, tested positive. And so why should my student be quarantined as well for those 14 days? And I've had many, many conversations with the director of the Kent County Department of Health. And the way it stands is this. This is why that particular protocol has to be in place, is that if somebody is a close contact, they will not probably demonstrate symptoms until could be 5 days, could be 12 days, could be 13 days, could be right before the 14-day incubation period is complete. And so therefore, that's why the close contact people have to be quarantined as well. I really struggle with that because I know for a fact the majority of our students and staff who have been put in a situation where they are close contacts have not tested positive at the end of the 14 days. But that's the rules, that's the regulations. But what we are doing is we are seeking outside laboratories that can promise us a return of test results within a 24-hour period. That hasn't been established yet as far as what laboratory we may use, but we're seeking an opportunity to use the laboratory that may in fact be able to guarantee quicker results as far as whether a student is tested positive or negative, and at least it'll give parents some peace of mind as well as the student, if they in fact are positive or negative. But that's going to be an ongoing issue as well that we have to deal with. And so, as you can see, there's a lot of things have happened since last Friday afternoon. We continue to deal with these issues, but I want you to know that again, our top priority is the safety of your students and the safety of our staff, and that we're going to continue to follow the safety protocols because we have the authority to do that through the board-adopted Return to Learn plan, as well as the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services legislative support that they have through laws that have been passed and giving them the authority and power to do this, to have this authority. I know there's been a lot, I've given you a lot of information, and I know that but I do also know that it's a lot easier to talk to you in this type of monologue than it is to put it in writing to you, and you have to sift through all the different verbiage and so forth. But I do promise you this, I'll continue to keep you informed. I will make sure that you get as accurate information as possible, and I will do my best to give you information that you can rely upon as we go forward regarding this very contentious issue of who has authority to do what. But right now I'm confident that through the Board of Education and their adoption of the Return to Learn plan, as well as our Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and the authority that they have and have had for years, by the way, can stand as authentic and legal. But I will keep you informed, and I hope you have the great rest of your week, and please stay safe. Thank you.